Hey there, welcome to Entitled, and this is where we talk to real estate entrepreneurs, practitioners, and thought leaders in the greater Phoenix real estate space. My name is Bernie Espinosa, along with my co-host,
David Bellinger. Hey, everyone. Good morning.
Yay. And I always like to ask...
if you're watching it in the afternoon.
That's true. I always like to ask David, how many Red Bulls are we on?
This is my first one, but I'm raring to go.
All right. That's impressive. Well, again, welcome to Entitled, where we love to call it Entitled because David and I actually both work in the title industry. So this is our wink, wink, fun little name for our podcast. And thanks for joining us. And today we have a pretty awesome guest. Super excited about Sean joining us. So we've got Sean Zimmerman, who is the founder, is that fair to say, co-founder of Launch, which is now Compass, Arizona.
Correct, yeah.
Yes, and so we've been pretty excited about getting to have a conversation with you. You're very much a leader in the local real estate space, very influential on a national perspective and presence as well. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't think of myself that way at all. So,
yeah.
It's nice to hear from
That's
somewhere
cool,
else. I
yeah.
just try to keep
That's even better.
my feet right on the ground and just do what I do best every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I think it'd be awesome just to start with, like, if we were to give us like a 1 to 2 minute like background, or like tell us how you got to Arizona.
Right.
Share with us a little bit about who's Sean and kind of your real estate trajectory, and then we can jump into some of the funner stuff.
All right, 2 minutes. All right.
Or longer, shorter. There's no time limits here.
What brought me to Arizona? I made a college visit in 1999 to ASU in the middle of the spring. And at the time, I was living in Denver, Colorado, and that was it. I was either going to go to James Madison University, George Washington, or Boulder. And I came here and was like, oh, this is incredible. There's no snow. It's an easy lifestyle. Phoenix was clean. So that made the move really simple, and spent 4 years, or 3.5, and graduated ASU and moved to San Francisco. I was a Fortune 100 consultant. So I worked for KPMG, and my clients were Apple and Walmart.com. So I remember I was on the ground floor when they launched the first Apple store in Palo Alto.
No way.
So it was cool to see that. And I say my claim to fame is I told Nils, who was the CIO, I sat at a table at 22, and I said, has nobody told these guys that no one makes money in retail in the computer business?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
wow. That's a great little like time capsule right there.
Yeah. And then it was great. So I did that. And I learned after being in corporate and Fortune 100 consulting that you work a lot of hours and you really have no...
Oh, cash register's ringing.
No, it's it's you know what? It's on silent, which means it's only my wife. It's the only one that gets the privilege of breaking through.
Allow the noise to come through.
You should pick it up and let her know you're
here.
recording a podcast right now.
My daughter was in the doctor with her this morning.
Oh gosh, okay.
And her earring got stuck.
Oh no.
And it grew in. And we've seen 3 doctors. And I said, there's only one doctor I trust. We got to go see Milton. And I think he was able to get it out.
That's gnarly.
Yeah, it was sad. Very, very sad.
But seriously, if you need to get it.
Yeah, no. They were good. They were in good hands, and they were probably just letting me know the good news that she's out
It'll
and
make
feeling
good
better.
on YouTube. I'm just saying if you want to.
Yeah. Milton, good job.
Yes, Milton. Yeah. Camelback Pediatrics. Shout out to Camelback Pediatrics. Yeah. Listen, I burned out quick. I saw a woman get hit by a semi-truck on the 101 coming out of San Francisco, and it was right in front of me. She was in a Jeep, in fairness. It wasn't her getting hit. It was her Jeep getting hit, and I thought, man, I wish that was me because I wouldn't have to go to work today.
Oh, my gosh.
And that was the moment that I realized I was never going to spend another day in my life not doing something that I enjoyed.
That's a sobering thought to actually say that after witnessing it.
I drove past it. I remember it. Red Jeep. Semi-truck was white, veered in the left lane, jammed her against the guardrail, and I was behind, and I went around to the right because I don't want to be late.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, that's
your mentality.
So that was it. I quit that day.
That was
the last day I worked there.
That was the frequency you were in at that time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I vowed 2 things. I vowed I would never do something I didn't enjoy again, and I vowed I would never let anyone work for me that felt that way.
That's amazing.
That's even better.
So,
yeah. Well, so let's fast forward. You moved out to Arizona.
Yeah, I moved back.
Left the Bay Area.
I left the Bay Area, moved back, lived out of the country from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
So really kind of permanently until 13. I was traveling in and out, spending about 40 hours a month on an airplane. I remember at one point I didn't have a house. I just always traveled somewhere new for work. I was in the development business and primarily on sales and marketing for resort developments. And then I got into the turnaround business. Guys would call me to figure out why it wasn't going well or what to do or should they shutter the doors or how is their money misappropriated or whatever it might be. So
I love that term.
Problems
The
every
turnaround
single day,
business.
right?
Yeah,
I feel
problems
like,
every day.
I feel like we deal with the turnaround business every single day in real estate.
Yeah.
Like we're always talking to agents and
I
need help
think
turning
all
it
the different
around.
kinds.
I think we have a chance to look at it and say we have to deal with a lot of problems, or we get to say it's our privilege to help find a lot of solutions.
Agreed. Are you part of the solution?
Yeah.
It's always one of my favorite phrases. Hey, how do we be part of the solution?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's always something to solve
You're
for.
a thermometer or you're a thermostat. Which one do you want to be? One of them reacts to the temperature and one of them sets it.
Ooh,
We're
using that in our sales
Yeah, we're
meeting.
bringing that one out.
Yeah, you wanna be a-
'Cause know
you wanna
what,
be a
to honest,
thermostat.
we tell our sales team the same thing, right? How lucky are you to get to meet with me today? Because
Yeah.
I may give you some solutions
Yeah.
that you can
Yeah.
do better in your business with.
And it's true.
We really try to plant the seeds about being thought leaders and being business partners, as opposed to just, yes, we have all the different little bells and whistles that everybody else has to use too, but we can show up differently. We can show up in a conversation to solve and or be part of something even greater, or be a contributor to the building, right?
Well, in your guys' business, right, you see so many business plans because you've
Oh,
worked with so
gosh.
many agents over time. So
lack
again,
of,
I look
yeah.
back at like the true resource value is the conversation, is the strategy. It's not the pandered mark, which is what so many agents have come to believe. Like
Yeah.
that's the purpose. No, the purpose is to have a partner that can help guide you, give you feedback, look at where your plan and where it is and isn't working, and help grow your business
Yeah.
or find solutions to places where you're getting stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. And being okay having those conversations, being aware of it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we kind of live on a river in Egypt called denial, but
Yeah, I mean, it's every meeting, right? Can
Yeah.
we be transparent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, a lot of the problems, especially right now, is it's the now problem.
Yep.
Well, we want to help you with the now, but we want to help you with it going forward.
Yeah.
exactly. What are the building blocks to get
Yeah.
us to next,
Yeah.
I
right?
think it's because I don't know. Do you think it's because people are they view those conversations as being critical instead of seeing them as being caring, right? Right?
100%. Yep.
Like, oh, you're being critical. No, actually, I
Did
care
you
about your
see-
business, and
yeah.
I'd like to
Yeah.
convert it into a better business for you,
Totally.
yourself, your clients,
And
etc.
for you to be a participant in it, like, what do you want? Kind of goes to yours is a much more, hard story in terms of seeing a car accident, but it kind of boils down to that. Like, what do you want? Like, how do you want to feel at work?
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
want to experience? And by the way, if you could imagine it, it's meant for you. Let's just take the steps to get there.
Yeah.
You know? So that's awesome. So transition to Arizona.
Yeah.
And you were still doing some of the turnaround
I was-
consulting.
I was flying out of town for 2 years, from 11, 12, and 13, and met my wife. I mean, we got engaged, and she said, "Okay, you can't travel on a Sunday night and come back on a Friday night. Like it isn't going to work for us."
Right.
And I didn't disagree with her. And I bought some land in Old Town. Had a partner. We were building some apartments or some small apartments, 8 units, 40 units, and did another deal. And they're long cycles, right? It takes a long time, 2-3 years. It's just I don't think I had the appetite or the stomach for it. It was kind of a solo. I felt too alone. Like it just didn't feel like there was anything to move the needle. And for some reason, I get this great idea, right? I'm like, I'm going to open a restaurant. I want a hobby. So in 14, I buy a restaurant that had been in existence for many years.
What restaurant?
It was called Petite Maison.
Okay.
It was right here in Old Town. It was a beautiful building built in the 1930s. And I bought it, closed it, flipped it, created a new concept, added like 1,500 square feet of patio and 50 seats, built a new menu, and relaunched it 11 days later. It was very
11 days.
fast. Yeah,
11
it was
days.
like Restaurant Impossible. We were 20 hours a day. We designed everything in advance. Things were being delivered in pods and built in place. It was a lot of fun. And,
Yeah.
and I did that for almost 3 years.
Is that restaurant still there, isn't it?
They tore it down.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it became called the Upton.
Okay.
Was the Upton's name, and we quickly got some accolades. We were top 100 restaurants in the U.S. by Open Table. We were rated by USA Today. And I said, ratings don't make you money, right? And that's what my first lesson learned
Well
was
said.
like, just
We
because
say it all the
people
time.
are saying great things about you, it doesn't mean you can make money.
right.
And at the end of the day, yes, I cared about what I was doing, and I loved the people who worked for me, and I loved giving clients a place where they felt like they mattered, where they weren't just like coming through the door and getting lost in the shuffle. It's like we wanted to see eye to eye. We had a no phone policy even back then inside the dining room.
Wow.
We really wanted people to connect with each other.
Yeah.
That's so good.
See, this is why I love that we're doing this show, because we get to know people like yourself at this level and hear these stories. It's so awesome. This is one of our biggest goals in terms of creating this
How many people
was
don't
to
know
get
that
to-
history,
Right.
right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this is really cool.
And
yeah.
I love it because what we do today, right, what we see in our careers is really only a piece of
It's
who we
only
are.
a snippet.
Right? And it's
Yeah.
everything that got us to that point that lets us give back as leaders into the
Yeah.
community.
That is amazing. So you kind of discovered what we all live in right today. I guess the social media equivalent with that would be like, just because you have a lot of likes or a lot of
Right.
shares, it doesn't mean that you're actually making money.
That's actually a
social
great
media.
way,
That's
right?
exactly
Like, does that
the
mean you're actually
same.
doing
Yeah.
any business or not doing any business?
Exactly.
Yeah. Does that pay the bills? That turns out it doesn't pay a
I
restaurant.
mean, for a small 1% of people, it does,
well,
right?
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my wife got pregnant, and she said, "Hey,
Okay.
what choices?" And I worked all the time. It was a hobby. I was hardly taking any money out of it.
It's a very time-consuming hobby.
It's no, it was not a hobby. Yeah, became a
I
passion.
mean, I have some hobbies, but they're not that time-consuming.
And my wife got pregnant, and it was Christmas Eve day. She said, she called me. I was there. She's like, "Hey, you need to come home?" I'm like, okay. We weren't open. I was just there doing whatever I was doing. And she said, "Hey, I'm pregnant. And you're gonna have a choice. You're gonna have a baby, or you're gonna have a restaurant, but you're not gonna have both." And maybe she didn't quite say it that way, but it landed that way. And she was right.
Yeah,
It wasn't
good
even
for
a
her.
consideration for me. I knew exactly what I was supposed to do. And 8 months later, I closed it. It was tough. It was tough to
Yeah.
give something up. It was tough because I lost money. Right? I couldn't sell it. The landlord wouldn't renew my lease, so I couldn't extend for enough time to make it, acquirable by somebody else.
Right.
So I started to walk away from the table and kind of give up an identity, if you will. And through that process, I got introduced to. My wife helped me get the introduction to David Newcomb, and he introduced me to some of the other co-founders. And at the time, the company hadn't been started yet. And I said, "Hey, I'm kind of not interested. Like, I just came out of something. I need to just kind of get back and grind and do what I do best." And I was lucky. I had a group of people and a visionary like John Batistas who really put it all together and knew to bring people together to make it work, and that it
right
was all
people.
based on the right people. And that those right people saw something in me that maybe I didn't see in myself at the time, because maybe I was feeling a little defeated and just wanted the easy road. And I would kind of say the rest is history. But I really do owe to that group that David included and John to see something in me that, frankly, after shutting a business down and feeling like I had not done well, even though it was a decision I had to make, seeing who I was instead of maybe who I felt I was at the time.
Yeah. I mean, a little Renaissance-ish, right? You've kind of gone down some different avenues, and you've been very accomplished in that.
And you know what I learned? Do what I do. Do what you do best.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
it's fun to
amazing, though.
divert, but like at the end of the day, it's
Yeah.
like put the energy where you really feel your energy should go.
Right.
Have a plan. Understand. Don't always look for the blue sky. Like, understand. Hey, we get lost in the blue sky. We're dreamers. We're entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to be realistic too. And at the end of the day, it's like I had to do what I knew best.
Yeah. And you follow your instinct to a certain degree on that too. And also a great coupling of people, because you joined up with some experienced business people in our space that their experience has also been iteration, right? They've had
sure.
iterations that didn't always go, as great as this final iteration,
Yeah.
right? So, and that's what we're all here for. With every attempt, ideally we're getting better, we're learning something, we're seeing something in others that could be like, hey, you need to come and play in our reindeer games because you're Rudolph. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
But
I think that's
people
so cool.
look at people and think, "Oh, look, they're here."
Yes.
Right? And we have the social media world where everyone's putting on the image of being there.
There.
Yeah.
And the reality
Yes.
is, there is no such. I shouldn't say something. It is very rare that there is such thing as an overnight success.
Agreed.
I say Chris Harris, like people are like, "Oh, he just made it so quick." I'm like, "Oh, you made it 20 years.
Yeah.
It took him 20 years to get where he is.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Right,
Totally.
with a vision forward of what he
Yeah.
wanted to do.
Yeah.
It did not happen overnight.
It never does, right? But you're right. Everybody sees the there.
Yeah, they see now.
where you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that David and I love doing is when we get to talk to anybody in our industry that is at a level of success, really getting to unpack how they got there, because there's so many stories and so many rabbit holes to go down in terms of pain, loss, frustration, financial,
And we know it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
But we know that, and it's not that you're even saying it happened overnight, but you know what? People see it out there. I'm sure that just
Yeah.
happened
Yeah.
for him. What a lucky guy.
Yeah.
How
You know what I
lucky.
mean?
They're
I'm
so
going to be like
lucky.
that. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
how? And they're on Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's how we got there.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of us really got there. Mr. Beast, maybe.
Yeah.
Right, but and even
Seriously.
he had to take time.
Yeah.
Right, but like,
Right.
yeah, but outside of
But
this,
we don't know his pain, right?
well, that's for sure. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So, you guys partner up. You get involved with Launch at the time, and Launch made a fantastic footprint in our market. Great agents, great philosophy, great presence, marketing. Were you, because you had already done some of the apartment building, buying of land, were you licensed then?
Yeah, I was licensed.
Okay, yeah. So you were practicing
and
the whole
I was
time.
doing new development with we were with Portland in the Park and
Right.
some other. So we would launch the project, hire the sales team, manage,
Okay.
sell. New development primarily inside Phoenix.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing at the time within the company when we first founded.
That's awesome. And then in terms of getting involved with launch, have you always, from when you got involved to kind of, I guess you'd call it now like it's Compass Arizona now, but from then to then, did you kind of have some visions for where you guys were going?
In 18, I took over running the company as the president of the company. And the vision, I think the vision for me at the time was always we wanted more people that believed in being collaborative, professional, and they were character driven that would help the others thrive.
Love that.
So it wasn't like, oh, we want to grow just for growth. We wanted to grow because we thought the right growth of the right people helped everybody in the room, and that growth shouldn't be limited as long as there were more professional, character-driven, collaborative individuals that understood when you show up and help another, everybody wins. And that was the vision. I don't think it was anything different. I don't think it was different for the partners. When we first started, I think that's still the vision. I think we've really maintained those three core principles as who we are and what drives our North Star. And those are the ways we make decisions on a daily basis for the company.
I love that, and now from a branding perspective, I saw the launch North & Co.
Yeah.
You could see how that goes together. But now getting to talk to you, I hear it now too, because a lot of what you value, those core pieces, I think that was also very much part of their foundation.
That's why it works. Like
The family's matched.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the values match. Right?
That's
I think
right.
in an acquisition, in my opinion, when companies acquire and there's not a value alignment, you almost get no value unless you're buying like IP or a widget,
tangible.
a tangible.
Yeah.
Thank you, David. Yeah. But when you're not buying a tangible and you're merging, say, a service-based business or a really heavily, people-focused business, if your values aren't in alignment, you're going to lose a lot of the team and the staff and the relationships, and that's going to cause sort of this, like, you'll get this blip, this hit,
Yep.
but then you're going to lose and you're going to have to rebuild again. But when the values align and you can bring them together, you really can amplify that. So and for me, we would never have done something from an acquisition perspective, and I wouldn't have sold the company to Compass if I didn't believe that that we had an underlying value alignment that was really about people and showing up and being better versions of ourselves for everyone else around us.
That's awesome. I love that. I mean, I think that more and more there's a need for that. And I think that, 5-10 years ago in the real estate space, in the brokerage space, it wasn't really based in character and the mindset, I guess more the soft, the soft qualities,
Yeah.
right? That's what people would call them, like soft skills.
Yeah.
Even though I think
And
the
the
primary,
numbers.
And the
there was more
numbers,
about
yeah.
numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
It was more about numbers and splits, the S word.
And there wasn't.
That's really what it was.
It is an S word.
It's the
That's
S
a
word.
great S word. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the S
And there
word.
wasn't a tangible, but there actually was, and it's the hardest one. You were acquiring, purchasing, merging personalities.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's harder than a widget.
That's a lot harder,
sure.
actually.
Yeah.
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 And you guys are, we like to keep things kind of evergreen, but you're about a year outside of that now.
Yeah, we're just after a year.
Yeah,
we
that's
were
incredible.
September 18th. Yeah.
And
So
how are you feeling in terms of like results, where you guys are at, growth, stability, all the things? Like,
I feel really good about it. I knew it would take a year. Like I'm
of
not
course.
stupid. I've been through cycles and other businesses, and so I knew it would be a year. I think my measure is always asking people around, how do you feel, right? So for me, it's going to the agents and saying, how do you feel? And when you hear them say, oh no, this feels, whatever side of the table you were on, right, that it feels right, and that we haven't lost our guiding light, right, of what really matters to us. And maybe it looks different. Like they'll say, well, I don't feel this thing. We're like, well, what is it? Well, what you're really saying is we maybe not showing up at the same location anymore, but we're getting the same results. So maybe you, and these are honest conversations, maybe need to let go of your attachment
Does
to
that sound
that,
familiar, Bernie?
right? And recognize that you're getting the same value.
This is
It just isn't coming in the same box.
that's so well put.
Well-
You have your language is a big factor in that, how you say it, the words that you use, because you're kind of making it more of a tangible than an emotion, which is good by painting the picture of the box and this package and that package. But David was saying, does that sound familiar? I'm like, this isn't about us today, David. No, just kidding.
Well, I mean, it's
But we go through those things too.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of mergers in the F&F.
and I
sure
don't
you
want-
guys have.
Yeah.
and you know, I almost compare it to a restaurant, right? The grand opening of a restaurant, the food's going to be amazing, right? How's it going to be in a year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it going to still meet my expectations? And is the
Where's it gotten
quality
better?
the same, or is it me that has changed what I expect in the quality
Sure.
of the food?
Right.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love the way you put it back. You don't put it back on them, but you ask them, is it possible we're looking at this differently? Because if your expectations change, I understand that, and let's see what kind of goals we can get to and you know where we can get to on that. But at the same time, I understand you're going to change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or embracing change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that-
Embracing
I
the
think
change.
That's what it is.
That's really what it
Embracing
boils
change,
down
yeah.
to is let's embrace this change. And also, ultimately, you get to decide where you want to be every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you get to decide what impact you want to make. You get to decide what contribution that you want to make. And at some point in time, if your contribution is still not really in alignment, that's okay too.
Yeah.
That's okay, right?
Yeah.
Or if it's
Yeah.
very much in alignment because you have a moment of realizing, okay, wait a second, let me X, right? Like, let me decide to do this. And, you know, I'm a big believer that there's no perfect environments. It's just that do I find joy in what I'm doing? It doesn't mean that every single moment of every single day you're in elation, but do I have joy in what I'm doing? There's still going to be days that are hard. There's still going to be days that bug
Yeah.
you. There's still going to be moments where you're like, I can't believe that just happened. But am I happy and joyful to be here? And to me, that's everything. Happy and joyful to be
Yeah.
here, right?
Yeah.
In spite of there's going to be these things that happen from time to time,
Yeah.
right? So Uh-huh.
and when you're not, it's time to make a change.
exactly,
Yeah,
Because
and
only
that's
you
okay.
can change. No, but somebody around you can't magically like do something
No.
that makes you feel better about
Yeah.
it. It's like I said this, if you're waking up in the shower every morning and you don't want to get out of that shower,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And it happens day in and day out,
That's
where
not
it
good.
becomes the normal. You're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'll never forget, and this is like in parallel, but I'll never forget one of the first like real relationships, the romantic relationships I had. My boyfriend at the time, I said to him, I'm like, you make me feel, you know, and he goes, you know what, Bernadette? It's like, I can't make you feel anything. You allow yourself to feel how you feel, and it's up to you to decide what you want to do. And I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Way to
Probably
get-
wanted to punch him first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. But you know what? I mean, that was like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And I still remember it because it was one of my best life lessons. He's right. Like nobody can make me feel I allow myself to feel how I feel. And so whether it's a feeling, a thought, an evaluation, an observation, whatever, that's how am I going to, how am I processing that? And am I owning it or am I putting it on somebody else? If you're not happy where you're at, are you owning it?
Yeah.
Or are you putting it on somebody else? Because nobody is responsible for making you happy.
Very true. Yeah.
So, but no, congratulations, because I feel like you guys have had a great transition.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
growth.
And growth, right?
Yeah.
And again, I go back to like it's not about the growth for the sake of growth. It's about growth for the sake of being better, not only for ourselves but for those around us. And I think that's people get caught up because they go, it's just all about acquisition.
Yeah.
Acquisition. No, it's like again, there was a value alignment. We believe it was better for the agents. I certainly believe it's better for the clients long term. I believe in what we're doing. I believe in what Compass is doing. I believe in the value we're
Yeah.
providing to both the industry as well as to the public. And growth isn't a scary word. I mean, I think agents want to feel small and boutique-y, but you don't have to lose a sense of who you are just because you have growth. The best example I have is when someone gets married and they're like, well, you're going to change your last name. Well, are you scared because now you're growing? No, now I get more family to support me, right? Now I have a deeper ecosystem that's there when things get tough. I'm not as alone anymore. And that's really the way I feel about growth of companies, so long as the value alignment is there.
Right. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Compass, because I think now getting to know you and then kind of observing Compass's, first emergence into the real estate space and where they're at today, fast.
Fast, yeah.
Really
yeah.
fast. And then kind of getting to hear the things that you've done. Just personally, I could see that there's commonality for how you operate and, what Compass,
Yeah.
the observation
Yeah,
of how
thank
Compass
you.
operates. So, but man, anywhere, Big deal.
Big deal. Yeah, big
And-
announcement. Big announcement at the beginning of the year, right? Christie's acquisition in
That's right.
January.
Yep, that was a big one
right?
too.
Christie's at Properties, which is big, not quite as big, obviously, which I think set the stage for sort of the acceptance of this Compass growing into maybe in a different way. And it was interesting because on December 2nd, I think when it was first announced, I texted Robert Repkin, the CEO, and I said, hey, great, but really you should be looking at it anywhere. I'm not saying he did it because of me. I just think like,
We are here, guys, with the one that made it happen.
I just believe that
Love
when
it.
the industry needs to start to, two things are going to happen in this industry. There's people are going to pull away, and the professionals are going to become more professional. We're going to provide a higher value of service. We're going to be more in demand by those who need it. And then there's going to be the side down here where it's like, no, I need a really limited service. Sell my house for as little cost as possible. And I'm going to kind of look at like, and it's become that way because of certain agents who run more of a mill versus a relationship-based business, where transactional, they're not a relationship. It's more about just like, okay, we got it. You're never going to see me ever again. We're going to do this for 1%. We're going to put it up on MLS and we're going to walk away, right? So because it's now become acceptable and at scale, and I don't mean around like the infill areas. I think you see that more in suburban markets, right, where you have a little bit more of a homogenous versus a homogenous product. I think that market and that agent one day will get replaced by a service, right? Like Zillow decides we're going to get into the business and we're going to hire real estate agents, but they're really more like high-level customer service. They're really there to answer questions. We're going to use some AI technology in the background to speed up the listing process, the contract process, everything. Opendoor, our OfferPad figures out maybe that they really could be more in the listing business and less in the iBuying business. And I think there's a market for that. And then I think there's the industry that needs to pull away and say we provide a really high value of service. We are constantly educating ourselves and fine-tuning our skills. We understand how to negotiate. We understand how to drive value. We know how to go into a home and say, your objective is this. We're going to help you reach that objective, and we're going to stay and communicate frequently in order to get you there, because this is one of the most significant assets you own. We understand the importance of that and the emotional balance and process of that, and we're here with you to get there, right? And I think agents, it's our duty and it's our privilege as leaders to do that together and to make sure we grow this direction to retake control of our business and regain our reputation as an industry. And I do believe that's what Compass is doing with the acquisition of Anywhere, and I believe that's how we're going to move to that, and agents are going to take back control. And in 10 years, we're going to say that was a great deal for everyone because it allowed this to happen.
I wish all of our
like,
relationships were like that. I understand what you're saying, that there's a place for that. I know we're calling it that Zillow type transactional relationship.
Yeah.
But I wish it didn't exist, because I think it's very important. And I think even the younger people coming into the market now, they don't know what they don't know, right? And if I'm, to my kids, if I'm not telling them, hey, this is what you should expecting, they don't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. You mean I can't go on my app and order someone to unlock this door right now? Well, stand by. I mean, that's going to happen,
sure.
right? It's going to happen. But I don't want it to happen.
Right.
And if that's because I'm older, then that's because I'm older. But it's still such a big purchase. I don't care if it's a first-time buyer, a second, or a third. It's still very important. If I'm not leaving there with what I bought in a bag, it's a big freaking purchase.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think too that there's like when you were just sharing, I like literally wanted to stand up and slow clap, like because
I started, but you didn't jump in.
Let's do the wave. Just because, first of all, you know your business. Second of all, you're very passionate about it, and thirdly of all, you want to see it be seen well, right? And lastly, I think that the way you describe being a real estate professional is about skills. It's about investing in your craft, right? Trade craft, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what are you investing into your trade craft? There should be a barrier to entry. And the barrier should be yourself to want to be good at what you're doing, as opposed to kind of describing what David's sharing in terms of it's been seen as this easy business to engage in. And it really is, especially in the state of Arizona. It's one of the easiest places to do real estate business, whether you're a single agent or you want to open any kind of company. It's pretty easy.
In all part of
you can do it quickly.
You could do it fast.
In all part of our business.
And
there's no border to entry.
No, there
which
isn't.
is sad.
Yeah.
There is for home inspectors.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
You have to have a number of hours,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
appraisers.
Yeah.
They have to have a number of hours, do it with somebody else. And I'm thinking, okay, so the people that are committing them into those big things, they don't have a barrier,
Right.
Yeah.
right? They
Right.
don't have a minimum requirement of how many deals
That's
have you
right.
been on
Yeah.
before you essentially gave the client advice, had them sign a contract, potentially go firm or non-refundable, have
Yeah.
money at risk. It feels
Yeah.
like the barrier to
Yeah.
entry is too low, and because I don't think NAR and I don't think the state's going to fix it. I think it's our job as leaders, right, in the industry, and specifically I see Compass or I see mine locally to say, then we have to help find the agents that
Have the-
are there.
Yep.
We don't hire new.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Right.
listen, I don't hire new. I don't believe in new. It's a lot to train. It's a lot
of
to do.
investment.
And I really think it's important that we help people who have put in the work, who've got there, who now say, no, but I want to go to there.
Take it to
I
the
want to
next
invest in
level.
them.
Absolutely.
Right? And if maybe they'll see it one day to say, I want to invest in somebody else to help them learn
Right.
what I learned and what I know.
Yeah, and I think too, you're also coming from this place of like preserving and still elevating what it means to be a professional real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? It means that you're actually helping people with these massive transactions, and I can't help but think about, I don't know, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, would anybody have ever imagined buying a car on an app?
Right.
So
Yeah.
Great point.
Or
Yeah,
with an oversized
and-
coin.
a damn big vending machine.
at a glass
By the
vending
way,
machine.
Yeah.
I bought a car there because I wanted to do the vending
Yeah,
machine.
and you would have said we were crazy, right? So no. People would have said to you this.
Yes.
There's no way. It's
There's no
such
way.
a big decision. So when agents tell me there's no way, 53% of respondents said they would work with AI to sell their home.
That's what I'm saying.
53%.
So how
Wow.
does your philosophy get hand in hand with the technology of it? And I feel like Compass is really being on the front edge, the kind of the bleeding edge of
sure.
leveraging technology
Yeah.
to still preserve
Yeah.
the agent experience for the consumer, right? So I think that that's a nice like cocktail going on there. But it is interesting to think about, for all of our industries, like even in the title industry, right? You look at the lending industry, like who would have ever thought we would have bought a car on an app, but we see it
Right.
happening all day
Yeah.
long. I mean, people are just like, hold that car for me. And, nobody's even
I'll
doing
come.
test drives
Yeah.
anymore.
Actually,
So-
test drive, take it a step further. When's the last time you've opened up a hood
right.
to look at
right.
the engine?
Or
I
have an
don't
inspection or
understand where
something.
anything
Yeah.
is.
Exactly. What am I looking
Yeah.
for? It's there.
Where do you put the water?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
where's the battery now? Like, where do they
Yeah.
put it?
Now you're always
But-
like, how do the seats look? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wheel scratch? Nope, look good.
Yeah.
All right, great. Let's do
Back
the
in
deal.
the day, you're crawling on the ground.
Right.
You're looking at
Having
underneath.
someone else
You're
look
looking,
at
making
it.
sure oil's not leaking.
Yeah.
I know,
So
it's bananas.
I think
But
it's a matter of time before, to your point, I mean, and Burnett's a great example. There's just a matter of time before people are comfortable buying a home almost at an automated process, especially if they get guarantees or warranties behind it.
Right.
But are they really getting this? Are they really getting the service that they deserve in order to make the right decision to prevent the? As we all know, you buy when you buy is when you make the money,
that's right.
right? Or
Yeah.
it's when you preserve your wealth, maybe is what I should say. And doing that from an automated process, it just
Well, and
people are going to lose, unfortunately, as a result. And I think our job as industry professionals to make sure that clients understand the value we bring to the table. But the only way they get that is by ensuring that we are stepping up, educating
Right.
ourselves,
Yeah.
doing the work, reinvesting in ourselves, and knowing that it's not about us, right? It's not about the deal. It's not about more volume. It's about making sure that we're servicing the client and listening to what they have to say and thinking about what they're saying and making sure that we're having conversations with them to check in through the process, right?
Right.
And knowing when to say, you know what, I don't think this is right for you. You told me in the beginning this is what you wanted, and I think you got pretty excited, and you seem to be kind of saying, you had all these list of no's. I don't know, this house doesn't feel right. Maybe you're tired, maybe you're frustrated, but do you really think this is the right thing for you? Instead of, hey, my commission's it's about to get it, and you say, yes,
Exactly.
let's do the deal, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that kind of in mind, the technology piece in mind, talk a little bit about how Compass is embracing that. And then, I guess another question I have, like before departure of the track, like where do you see Compass going in terms of continued acquisitions? Like what's their ultimate goal in the growth piece?
Their ultimate goal, I don't know. I mean, I have to be speculative in the sense that
Besides
I have to say
eliminating
you've got
MLS.
Zillow and Compass right now, right?
Yep.
I don't think that's super clear. It's all over the press.
Right.
Zillow believes that all of the agent information belongs to them.
Right.
Like they believe that all of our listing information, all of our details, everything that we produce, they're like, but it's really the client's information. I'm like, but is it? Okay, fine, but Zillow, it's really yours, and you have shareholders. Compass really believes in the freedom of choice, and what ultimately Compass says is we believe in agents. We believe agents do the work. We believe agents offer the value. We believe clients should have the choice to work with an agent or work with Zillow or how their home is sold or how it's marketed. So where I see Compass going is I see Compass wanting to be the place that people one day say, well, did you look on Compass?
Exactly.
Instead of, did you Zillow it? They say, oh, did you look on Compass?
Yeah.
Because they want to be the Compass, and they want to create the relationship as a result of that directly with the agent to preserve an experience, an industry, and a necessary element of success when buying and selling a home, right, is the personal touch. So that's where I see Compass going. I don't think
That's
there's any
awesome.
doubt that they're not going to get there. I think Robert Refkin is a brilliant leader. I think I wouldn't bet against him.
Yeah.
And I do believe he cares about the industry and the people, and I think that has a lot to do with it. So from a technology perspective of why they can even make that claim, why they can get there, it's because they've invested over $1 billion in a technology platform that doesn't separate you as an agent from the client. It brings you closer together with the client. It helps you get back more time so you can spend more time doing this, building a relationship. It gives you the tools to not forget the relationships that you have built, because unfortunately we're having to build more relationships as commission compression happens, as there's more competition in the marketplace. Like, we have to build more, and we have to build deeper relationships and still offer more transparency, more communication, and more value throughout the process. And that's what the platform, what they call it, the Compass platform, has been created to do. It is a time saver for an agent. It brings the client much closer into the relationship with the agent. It stores information the client can get far down the road. One day it'll bring vendors into the platform, so the client will get direct relationship with like a carpet guy and a painter because my agent recommended him, and that's my portal. I just go there and I get everything I need that was recommended by my agent, whether it's today or 15 years from today, it's still stored there. I think I used to poo-poo technology for a long time because I believed so much in the personal relationship.
Yeah.
And I believed that the way technology was being used or presented was a replacement for the human touch. But it's not when it's used correctly. It is an
No, it
enhancement
enhances it, yeah.
for that really direct and personal human touch.
For sure.
And that's what we'll continue to develop
Yeah.
the software, the platform for, and we'll continue to help agents learn how to use it in order to deepen those relationships and create more value for their clients and ultimately create more value for themselves, right?
For sure, for sure. With technology, to be able to become more efficient, inevitably becoming more effective.
Yeah.
Right? So, like a lot of people say, you want to be efficient or effective. I'm like, I'd rather be efficient because I will ultimately be more
effective, for sure.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So, and then as you kind of transition through that, what has been like the agent growth that you guys have seen? Because I feel like with all these acquisitions
Yeah.
and then, it amazes me how fast Compass has grown from when it emerged. It's a relatively new brand.
2012 originally,
Yeah.
right? It's when Robert started it in New York.
Yeah.
So it's been 13 years.
That's it.
13 years.
I
Yeah,
remember
think
hearing about
that.
Compass at one of the Inman events, and the funny thing is, the initial discussion on it, we're a technology real estate company, and I remember, what technology did you see? They came out with the first lighted sign.
Yeah. You remember that sign? Yeah.
The round
one.
lighted,
San
the round
Francisco,
lighted
yeah.
sign, and simple mind or not, I was impressed. How has nobody done a lighted real estate? You see everybody, let me point this Malibu light up at it and do all this.
I was just about to say, I'm like, you were super impressed.
I was like, why not?
Yeah. Totally.
But what's a technology company? That was Robert's vision at the beginning, is that he's like, hey, I want to transform an industry that had really had no transformation, right? In 40 or 50 years, that really hadn't developed a process or a system for the agents. And I know even in 12 or 13, he knew what he wanted to create, but frankly, a lot of the technology wasn't even there to create it, right? So he was creating it over that period of time, and it was probably 2021 before that technology really became real and tangible.
Right.
And during that time, there was a ton of acquisition, right? I'd say more so between like 17 and 21 across the country for smaller, mid-sized brokerages where Compass would come in and acquire those brokerages to create a larger footprint, because So it's really hard to start one at a time. Just difficult, right?
Right.
It takes a long time to scale. And if you are going to roll out technology and have systems, you can't roll it out. You don't want to roll it out small. You want to roll it out big because that's how you get more efficiency in learning how to leverage the technology better. So the growth has been tremendous really over the last 7 years.
Yeah.
You look at where we're number one now across the United States in market share, and you know Seattle, Los Angeles, San Diego, I think Chicago now, Austin. We're number 3 here. Sometimes we're number 4, but we're number 3, number 4. Only behind HomeSmart.
Yeah.
I mean, brokers that have 6,000
That's right.
agents
Yeah.
or 1,500 agents, and we have 500 producing agents.
Yeah.
So we're doing it with a third,
That's
and
right.
we're doing
Right.
and we're doing 20% less volume, right? And I think that's true of Compass across the country. Is it's been go out and find the right agents that really lead the profession. And in the beginning, when Compass founded, you had to have 3 agents refer you to the company in order to get
I
an
love that.
invite.
Yeah.
And we,
That's
when
so
we
good.
started launching, you had to get the invite from, an agent would call me and say, Sean, I just did a deal with so-and-so. They were great. We didn't even finish the deal. It totally fell apart. But they were so cool. And they never made it about them. So my call was always, hey, I heard this about you. We're always looking for people that want to contribute back to the profession and back to each other to provide more value. And I just want to have lunch with you. And that's how we built the company. And every agent still to this day in our company gets the veto right to bring an agent in.
That's
I
awesome.
publish their name.
Wow.
And if they say, oh, I did a deal, and we talk about their ethics. It can't be they were competitive
Right.
or, they outmaneuvered me.
Right.
It
It's
can't
like,
be an ego thing. It's more
like,
about a value
oh, they
thing.
said this to me. Well, they said that to you?
Yeah.
We don't want people saying that to people. Or they, had a dip in their ethics and they can show me how that occurred. So we say, no, thanks. It's not
Yeah.
for us.
Good for you guys.
That's-
I
yeah.
love that. I think too that human nature, if somebody tells you you have to have an invitation for something or it's member only or
You want to be part of it.
you want to
Yeah.
be part of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, there's something, there's something
The club.
really the club.
But
Everybody
it's
wants to be part of the
also
club.
about the value. Go back to that value alignment, right? I think
Yeah.
what we do is we do a great job of saying you're not just here because you wanted the same sign. You're here because you value the same things we
Yeah.
value, and that creates a sticky relationship.
Yeah.
Right, and that lets us have a lot more higher retention rate. And again, I go back to that's what Compass has done nationally, which is why the retention rates are high. And
Yeah.
locally, they're really, I don't know, we're at 99% retention, I think.
And it seems as though the growth has been very steady. I mean,
Yeah.
it isn't a newcomer to a space in which they've experienced a lot of roller coaster. My impression, anyway, is that it's been a very stable growth. It hasn't really seemed to have any setbacks.
Yeah, it's been consistent for
Yeah,
sure. I
that's
think if you
great.
look year over year, quarter over quarter, nationally and locally,
Yeah.
we're consistent. We have a process for growth. Again, we don't grow for the sake of growth. It's about where. And now,
Amen.
Yeah.
as I look at it, it's like, well, where are we missing something? Like now, I start looking geographically at the footprint and saying, well, we're missing something here. Okay, so can we go in there and grow naturally, or can we acquire a value aligned company that would get the value and benefit of working with us? And so now I think we're really looking at, and then how does that help our agents? Well, I want to know that agents have the ability to refer up to Prescott,
Yeah.
right? Because I want that relationship to exist, and it exists both ways. So let's
Yeah.
make sure we go find it in Prescott, and let's go to Flagstaff, and let's go to Tucson, and let's feed the ecosystem. But we also have 35,000 agents currently, and with Anywhere, it's going to double that number, that can refer back into us, right?
Just
So
creating that network.
yeah, 20% of
know.
Compass deals,
Yeah.
20% nationwide, 17%. So almost 1 in 5 are done across state lines, agent to agent.
Wow, that's cool.
That's a bucket of business for an agent.
That's a
Seriously.
that's a great stat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, when are we going to find you in the C-suite of Compass?
Oh, I get.
I feel it. I feel it.
It's
I'm
funny,
gonna
I
vote for
get
you for
asked
president.
that a
Hold
lot.
on.
I'm gonna vote
Do
for
we
you.
need to ask you or your wife?
Yeah, I asked my wife.
When do you-
Listen, I have 2 kids at home that are 6 and 9.
Yeah.
And I love leadership. I mean, I truly love it. I think it's my calling. It has
very
been
organic to
since
you.
I was 8. I remember it. I got
Cool.
rid of. I got away from it for too long. I don't know why I got away from it. Again, like I said, I stopped believing in myself at some point in time. And I believe leadership's responsibility is to help create more leaders.
I love
It's
it.
not to lead for themselves. It's to lead to duplicate and replicate themselves, so that 1 and 1 becomes 11 instead of 1 and 1 becoming 2.
I can't believe you just said that. I've been saying that for
Do you?
years.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say 1 + 1
Yeah.
should be 11, not 2.
Yeah, I've one of the things I was saying. I say let go equals let's go. Like when we can let go of the past and we let go again, then we can all move forward.
That's cool.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it'll ever be in my cards. I love what I do right now. I love the state
Yeah.
that we have here. I love the agents that I get to work with every day, and I think it can provide so much more value here in Arizona for right now.
Yeah.
And my kids and my wife are here, and I want to
Yeah.
go home every night, and I want to put them to bed.
That's
Love it.
awesome.
Like,
Love it.
What do you do for you? What's your mindset rituals?
what do I do
Like,
for
what
me?
do you have any coaching, mindset, books, speakers?
everything
like-
you just said.
Okay.
I meditate every day. I wake up at sometime between 4 and 4:30 in the morning. I spend an hour in meditation. It's a big part of keeping my head on my shoulders.
Love it. Family, very connected.
Yeah, very
Sounds-
connected.
I love that too.
I'm the morning guy. I take care of the kids. I get them ready for school. I take them to school every day. I make them breakfast. I pack their lunches.
That's awesome.
I put them to bed every night, both of them. So if the only time I don't is if I'm with my wife. Other than that, my rule is if I'm here. Like I was with Frank Azami, Dinesh, and John Batista having dinner last week, and it's 8:15. I said, sorry guys, I got to go home.
I gotta go.
said I committed to my kids that I will put them to bed if I'm in town. Unless I'm with my wife.
That's
so I'm
awesome.
going home to put my kids to bed. So that's part of my me time. The me time is an interesting question though, because I don't think I take enough of it. I don't think a lot of leaders take enough of it. I think when we give ourselves when we put ourselves first, I know it's hard to say that because we say eaters eat last. I'm like, no, leaders eat last because they take care of themselves first. So they're strong enough to take care of others. And I learned this I studied Kundalini yoga and had a yogi master about 15 years ago. And he said, Sean, you have a choice in life. And he could see me. First time I met him, I'm not kidding you. He looks at me and he goes, you have a choice in life. I said, okay, I'm listening. And he's got this long beard and he's wearing a turban, right? And he's
Very
wearing all
awesome.
white. So I'm listening intently, like, you must know something. He said, I'm going to tell you a story. I said, great, I'll listen to it. And he said, you're a hunter. I said, okay. Not really. He goes, no, but you run a village. I said, okay, because you have people responsible. I said, yes, I do. Okay, so you're a hunter, and you are in charge of a village. I said, okay, I get it. He goes, and you've got to go out, and you're the only one who can hunt. And you're 3 days in, and you kill a rabbit. And you have a choice. You can take that rabbit back and feed 2 or 3 people, and you will perish. Or you can eat the rabbit and find a deer and take a deer back to feed the village. Now, when you're gone, somebody may have perished. But by eating the rabbit and taking the deer, the rest of the village survives.
Wow.
What are you going to do? And his point was, you got to take care of
You gotta take
yourself,
care of yourself.
so you can take care of others. And I think
Beautiful.
there's this place in society where we've built this image around like, no, I put everybody else first, right? Like I'm all about everyone else, and we suffer as a result, and then we're not able to show up as strong, or we're reactive, or we're the thermostat
Yeah.
because we get resentful. And like, our job is to not do that, not be selfish, right? Just like do what you need to do to show up better for everybody else. And that's how you're going to succeed in leadership.
So beautifully put. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think
Yeah.
that was just one of the
Yeah.
most
Wow.
eloquent ways that somebody has shared that about you got to take care of yourself in order to take care of others, right? I mean, we say the cliche, take care of
Right.
yourself to take care
Yeah,
of others,
yeah.
but that story really puts it into a very visual perspective.
Plus,
so that's
eloquent
awesome.
tastes much better than rabbit.
True.
And then there's
Very
David.
true.
Your people would be very thankful.
So we always like to close out by asking, what can we do for you? What would be something that would help you, that we can show up for you? How can we elevate a message or platform or support you?
Listen, I don't think it's about supporting. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I mean this. Like, I think what you guys do in supporting the industry, and I think continue to drive people upwards, right? Continue to separate and maintain a higher level of regard in the title and the service and the rep and the agent, having harder conversations, asking more questions, right? Helping them build more value, building more value for your own industry, which I think has been it's been right? And it's not because of what you're doing, it's because of this like need and expectation that agents put on you. It's like, but that's not what we do.
Right.
Like, we have all this incredible value
Yeah.
back there, right? That we want to give to you to help you perform better, be better, and ultimately show up better for your clients. So I'd say let's keep doing it together. Let's keep growing. And I didn't bring them today. I have a bag of redwood seeds, and I'll ask somebody, I'll say, hey, what's in this bag? And they say, what do you see? And they say, it's small. I still turn it around. Oh, I see redwood seeds. I should go, I don't see redwood seeds. I see a redwood. Not do I see a redwood, I see a forest when I look at that bag.
That's cool.
And the unique thing about redwoods is they are the oldest, tallest tree in the world, and yet their root systems are minimal
Yeah.
when they, as far as how they go into the ground. But instead, they root out, and they root out because when you root together, it allows us to grow taller and stand the test of time. So I guess my ask is to continue to root together, right, to show up and set this industry apart and help people become better, so that we can grow taller.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
I'm in to be a redwood.
Me too.
Let's go.
You remind me of, I don't know if you know Frank Girola, but he always says, let's just all be better. Let's just all be better. Yeah. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Yes.
What's the best way to reach you? Anybody that might be interested in coming on board or just want to get to know you better?
Yeah, listen, I mean, anybody can. Sean, Sean.Zimmerman, so it's Sean.Zimmerman @compass.com. And I mean it. Listen, I might take a day or two to respond, but I'll respond to everybody. I'll have coffee. I'll have lunch. I'll have a phone call. Whether it's just getting insight or knowing where to go or wanting to come over,
Love it.
I'm available.
Awesome.
You guys would be crazy not to at least bend his ear for a cup of coffee or something.
Yeah, sure I would buy him a pot of coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
I only drink I drink matcha.
And bring some
Okay,
redwood bring some redwood seeds.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
you, guys.
Yeah,
Really
it's been
great
awesome.
story.
Thanks, Sean.
I
Thank you
appreciate
guys for watching
Thank
and
you.
listening.
See you later.